You're looking for that editing software that lets you create thumbnails, edit photos, or do some creative work. Naturally, you check out Photoshop, right? But then you see it, like I did. £264 a year just to subscribe. Oh my God. I know, ridiculous. That's why I said, hell no. And I started digging, watching videos, do some research. And you know what? I think I found a truly free gem that I've been using for the past 6 months, and it's been fantastic. My name is Arya, this is AZM Lab, and today I'll talk about some of the alternatives out there and the information a lot of people don't tell you about, and personally, what I would recommend and what I've been using, and how to get it, plus a quick walkthrough at the end as well. These days, there are so many editing options out there, and honestly, so many videos telling you this is what you should be using. And you know what? They're awesome in their own ways. Tools like Canva, Pixlr, Photopea, and others. But here's the issue that I've got with some of them. Say Canva, for example. Probably you would say the most popular and the biggest options out there other than Photoshop. And it's great for quick projects, gives you a ton of templates and easy tools. And if you're after that, it will definitely deliver. But the moment you start getting a bit more, how shall I put it, creative, you notice more and more features are getting locked behind a paywall. And it's been increasing over the years. Now, there are some other amazing options like Photopea. Great, it's one of the best browser-based editors out there. But that's the catch. It only runs in your browser. That means it is limited by your internet connection and your system's memory due to how browser-based software work. Plus, it is not open source, so there's always that concern about privacy and data security. And I'm not a fan of pop-up ads either, let's just say. And here's the biggest thing that you got to remember, guys. The problem with closed source tools is that they tend to get you in the door, shall we say, for free, but then slowly increase the cost over the time. And that matters because the time you spend learning a software is as valuable. You don't want to invest that time only to find features suddenly locked later. So always remember that, no matter the software that you use. Now, if you already know about this next one, fantastic. But if you don't, my personal favorite that is truly open source is GIMP. As I said, it is truly open source, which means no ads, no subscription, and ton, and I mean ton of community support. People are constantly making free plugins and improvements, which means it's just keep getting better and better and better. And honestly, GIMP can do almost 80% of what Photoshop can, except for some of the newer AI powered features, which I'll be covering soon here on the channel in terms of AI options and free options for that later on. And for the remaining advanced stuff, things like professional color work, smart objects, or building AI tools again to a degree, I think the best paid alternative is actually Affinity Photo. And the reason for that is simple. It's a one-time purchase and it is offline. So once you buy it and download it, it is yours forever. No subscription, no ads, and because it's offline, fully private in that sense, and it costs less than $80, which is just amazing value. Now, if you haven't seen or used GIMP before, let me show you where to get it and how to install it safely, and then we'll do a quick demo afterwards. Now, as always, to get this fantastic software, load up your favorite browser, copy this link that I'll put in the description below. This will open up GIMP's website. At the top, you have a bunch of different tabs, including one that says download. You can go to the download section there, but we also have the big red download button. But in both circumstances, guys, always look for some form of release note. As you can see, it says GIMP 3.0.6 released. That means this is the most stable version. You will also have development releases, such as the one below it, or some form of beta. I wouldn't really recommend doing that because they are not very stable. They have issues and that sort of thing, so it's just not worth it. We're going to stick with the stable version, so I'm going to press the big red button, and this is going to bring up this page basically. And here, another awesome thing with GIMP is the fact that it supports multiple different platforms, including Linux, macOS, Windows, and you have a bunch of different download options, and it will tell you what is the supported OS or what versions that you need to have in order to be able to run GIMP, which in our case, we're Windows 11, so we're totally fine. And I'm going to be just pressing download directly, but you can choose Microsoft Store or torrent sites if you want to. Now, this is going to give you an option to download to whichever folder that you want. Again, I'm just going to stick with the downloads folder. It will also give you like this sort of a support page where you can donate. As I've always mentioned, guys, if you can, please do support these fantastic causes. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. Now, do not press this .exe file in case of a Windows in the corner. I'm going to be shutting down the browser for now. We're going to be opening up the download folder. Here, the downloaded file, guys, right click on it and press run as administrator. Now, this is quite important because with the free tools like this that are open source, they do tend to get flagged up by Windows. And when you get the warning, first of all, say yes, as in the permission. Then it will say install for me only or install for all users. I always say install for all users because again, that prevents some issues with Windows to act up. So we're just going to be pressing that. Now we're going to be pressing the install, simple, and it's going to take a little while. Again, this is dependent on how fast your system is. Once it finishes installing, you're going to get this message. In this case, I'm not going to launch it yet. I'm just going to press finish and look for this emblem that looks like a dog's head or a fox's head, shall we say, with this little brush in its mouth. We're going to be pressing that because that's GIMP basically. Now, it's going to, again, take a little while depending on your system, and it will slowly open up GIMP. Now, when you load it up for the first time, it will basically tell you the version that you've got, some tutorials, contribution, details, and so on regarding the GIMP itself. Again, personalize, all that options that you can kind of adjust. Again, because I've used it, there are some extra files here, but I'm just going to be closing it. Now, what I personally always like to do whenever I install GIMP for the first time on a new system is head to edit, there look for preferences, and here look for toolbox. And I like to untick this use tool groups. And the reason I do that is because each different tool become individually visible. You still got access to all the kind of a quick buttons and that sort of thing, but I like to kind of see them and individually select them. Whereas when you kind of group them together, you got to kind of hover over them and you got this sort of like a triangle in the corner. I just don't like that. I prefer to individually kind of select them whenever I kind of forget the quick access buttons. But you also have different options in terms of themes. Whereas again, if you go, for example, for the icon theme, as you can see, it gives us a bit more colorful look. Again, there are different plugins that are available that can adjust these, that you can kind of experiment with. But I like the classic look. I'm used to it, and it kind of gives it this modern vibe. Again, there are different options in terms of how the color management works. So many things that you can kind of experiment and learn. And this is what I love about GIMP. Is not only it is a very simple and modern design, now with this version especially, you got loads of different tools available that are similar to more advanced options such as Photoshop, as well as different control for these tools. As you can see, again, you can add different panels, so these are not fixed, but you also have layer option that you can kind of control. And controlling layers gives you so much more creativity in terms of different images that you can kind of create and adjust. And it's so simple because all you need to do is just simply click File and New, and you can set the image size that you want to create. Again, you can just import Photoshop files as well. Again, with Photoshop files, they come out a little bit flat, but most of the options that are available in Photoshop will be editable in GIMP as well, which is absolutely fine. So I would say probably 80 to 90% of the things they can do with Photoshop, you can do here. But again, if you're looking at the more advanced options, I recommended Affinity Photos. Great tool there as well. But in the meantime, I highly recommend this. I personally use this all the time for all my thumbnails and all the other creativity. And to be honest, there's so much to do here that I'm still learning, I'm still improving. And I hope it helps you too. I hope this video has helped, and if it has, don't forget to smash that like button and do drop your comments down below. Love to hear them around the tools that you've been using for editing and so on. And if you know something better than GIMP, guys, let's share them. You never know. And also, if you have questions, even on a different subject, ask away, guys. Maybe on the next video. And for that, and loads more around free tools, how to fix things, AI guides coming back, and stream guides coming soon as well. Ding that notification and hit that subscribe button. And take care. And until next time, peace.